I think that he believed he was going to throw a pass that would count for 14 points.
Right.
Like, we should be killing this team without Aaron Rodgers. I'm embarrassed that we're not. And he was pressing, and he was pressing, and he was pressing. The good news, though,
is the first interception, which
pointed,
wasn't horrible. The 3rd and 8, okay, it's like a punt. It wasn't the worst, but he could have.
But it
Can
had
we
that
play
element.
that again?
It has that element of just throw it up and see what happens.
Well,
it
definitely does. Well, my issue with it too, and if we could even, we'll just let it go here. Yeah, rewind it. Go ahead. I thought with this play here too, he could have ran for the first down. That's where I was shocked he did it. He had one guy in his path. Instead of throwing a jump ball into double coverage, I was surprised by that.
The good news, though, they have found a reliable second option to catch passes from Josh Allen. Jordan Whitehead.
You're funny. I know. Was that unreal?
I mean, 3 interceptions, unbelievable. But every one of them just kind of had. I mean, look,
this is a bad one.
Stephon Diggs knew I got no shot at this one.
Right.
But there's a point where you just have to throttle it back. And who does he have on that coaching staff that has the ability to go to him and say, in the moment, Josh, you got to throttle it back. Josh, you can't be taking those chances. Josh, you got to know when it's there, and you got to know when it's not there. That's a big difference between him and Patrick Mahomes. You don't see Mahomes make throws like that. Mahomes knows the limits of his ability.
Right.
Josh Allen is always pushing things beyond the limits of what he can do, and that's what creates these moments.
Yeah, I would say that's true. I mean, he just at times will get a – he was really, after year 2 was great for a long, long time and didn't turn the ball over. And was the best at protecting the ball in the red zone out of any quarterback in football for like a 3-year period. 21 for 2019, 20, and 21. He was amazing. He went through I don't think he threw an interception down there. Never turned the ball over. But then he hurt his elbow last year, and things got a little crazy. And I don't know what has happened, there, but he has lost that feel of reckless and aggressive. And it's gotten a little too much on the reckless department there. And, it's hurt their football team in a few moments. And it certainly hurt them last night. That's where I was, I love Josh Allen. He's my boy Blue. I was disappointed in the fact that he took some of those chances and didn't have a better feel for the game overall.
By the way, Jordan Whitehead made $250,000 last night because he has a contract incentive that pays him that amount if he gets 3 interceptions this year. He hit that incentive the first night of the season.
That's unreal.
He had never had 3 in a season. He had 3 in a game. It's unbelievable. It reminds me of the guy whose name I'm not going to remember, who was on the cover of Sports Illustrated, the linebacker from the Raiders back when they beat the Eagles in the Super Bowl. He had 3 interceptions.
I know. I'm going to blank on his damn name, too. He was Super Bowl MVP. Of course, and I know.
Look it up.
It'll come to me.
Control room will look it up. Super Bowl MVP of 15.
Yes, right.
15.
Right, which was,
number 60, I think?
No, it's not
59?
No.
Rod Martin.
There you go.
53.
53.
Close enough.
So the other thing, too.
Rod Martin.
And if we could play those interceptions one more time, guys, I would love that. Like we talked about, the first interception, okay, you can deal with it. But like we talked about, I think he could probably run. He's such a gifted runner here.
Yeah, he's got it.
He's got green grass. He's going to have one guy that's probably going to meet him right around there.
Green nut grass.
Green artificial turf, right. So that one, okay, you can live with it, and like it became a de facto punt. But now here's going to be the second one. It's 2nd and 12. You're borderline field goal territory. You're playing the Jets, and it's a defensive low-scoring game. That is inexcusable right there. It's inexcusable. Josh Allen's played too much football. He's too smart to do that.
He wanted 20-6.
I guess so. Here's 3rd and 2. Why are we trying to fit this in? Let's go back. Can we rewind that play just right there, guys, if you don't mind? Why are we fitting this in against Sauce Gardner and Whitehead over here? Why aren't we throwing the little slot out? Look, Kincaid's open underneath. And Stephon Diggs running the shallow crosses too. Right. Just live with that. Let's not try to do that, let alone throw a bad ball where it was behind a little bit. So that's where it's one of the greatest talents in our sport. Josh Allen's awesome. But this is where I think, like, to steal a phrase from what Jason Garrett said about Dak Prescott on Sunday night, the burden's a little too much at times. Yep. And he just can't fall in the trap of, I'm going to do it all myself. And, that's where the Jets were clutch and he wasn't at his best.
But back to the first interception, when you've got the ability to run for that first down, why do you trade that in for something that doesn't even have a chance.
Yeah, I know.
I mean, if I got a guy running around wide ass open and I know I could run for it, but I'm going to throw it to the guy who's open and hit him, fine. But throwing it into a guy who's double covered and overthrowing, like, why not just run?
I don't know
run the
either.
ball.
Right.
It just makes no sense. Here's Josh Allen after the game trying to make sense of his 4 turnovers, 3 interceptions, 1 fumble lost last night.
Josh, the 4 turnovers, was that something that they did, or is that just you maybe forcing the ball, trying to force the ball in a little bit?
Yeah, trying to force the ball. Yeah, same place, different day.
Is it? I mean, what do you got to do to get it on track?
Yeah, I mean, mindset-wise, just trusting what I see and sticking with it and not trying to force anything. And it's a good defense we played, but, we can't play 2 guys. Can't play them and us, and I played us tonight, and
That's not what you want to hear from your quarterback after the first game.
He's disgusted.
Because you've spent the whole offseason trying to iron out these rough spots. You get to the first game that counts, and you revert to the bad habits that you're trying to get past. That's not good.
No.
And for him to be that dejected and to be that candid, I appreciate the candor, but it's troubling because what's going to happen between now and Sunday? Like, the train's rolling down the track, one game after another. You had 7 months, Bills, to fix this, and you didn't. Right out of the gates, you had what should have been an easy win with the Jets without Aaron Rodgers, deflated, exasperated, defeated, and you let them hang around because Josh Allen was trying to dial up the 14-point play in the playbook. I feel like that's what he was doing all night long. We should be kicking the shit out of this team. We're not, and I'm going to try to, in one moment, turn that into
flip
now
the
we're gonna
momentum,
that's the scoreboard looks the way it should.
Yeah.
You got to forget about that. And that's where coaching comes in. He's got to have people in his ear that are telling him, Josh, stop it. Josh, what are you doing? You got to calm down. You know what? Maybe it is. Remember the Ken Dorsey stuff last year?
Well, we saw Brian Daboll. These weren't going on there, right?
Ken Dorsey blew a gasket and he threw. Like, maybe Dorsey is so incapable of getting himself under control that he can't even begin to get Josh Allen under control. I mean, these are real questions.
Yeah.
That offense has gone downhill since Daboll left. That's the problem, and I'm sorry, all defensive coaches out there. When you've got a great quarterback, you need an offensive head coach because when things start going well, you don't have to worry about the coach leaving. When the head coach is a defensive guy and the offensive coordinator is strapped to that young quarterback and starts doing well, he ends up being head coach of the Giants, and you got to find somebody else, and you hope you pick the right guy. And it could be that between Dorsey and Allen, you can't have 2 hot-tempered guys. You can't have 2 guys who are holding on too tight.
Yeah.
You got to have somebody who pulls someone else in the relationship back to reality and calms them down. Those are the human factors of football that, the analytics experts like to disregard and do so at your peril because there are still human beings making human decisions in human moments. And if you've got Dorsey, high-strung and very, irritable, and you've got a quarterback who maybe is hearing that and it's affecting him, you need someone they need a calming influence on Josh Allen. That's the key. And the season's begun. It's too late to do anything about it. But this gets back to what I say all the time, and I know the people in Buffalo, the people who are in the positions of authority, GM and head coach, don't like it when I say it. Better get your shit together, or Terry Pagula is going to hire somebody else to get the most out of Josh Allen. After last night, if that mindset wasn't there before last night, it's definitely got to be there after last night because we're mismanaging this incredible talent. We're not coaching him and supporting him the way we need to.
Yeah, they got to rein him in. That's for sure. 100%. And that's where I do look at it, where Brian Daboll had him reined in for sure. And, last year, okay, it's fair for us to assess and go, wait, it was a new offensive coordinator, and and things got a little wild, and maybe they're giving him a little too, what do they say, carte blanche, right? Just like
laissez-faire.
Just letting him do whatever he wants. And see, this does happen, right? We saw Mahomes in 2022 early on when they were 3-3, and he went through a phase of this. We've seen Brett Favre before go through this, right? Where great talents, they think they can do anything and they can make any play happen. And start to become a little too reckless, right? And yeah, Josh Allen's become too reckless, and of course he's the best player on their team, so they want to let him have that freedom, but they got to find that balance of what you're talking about, and he knows. That's why I do respect him there. He's disgusted at himself.
But he needs, but that's a cry for help. He needs somebody on the coaching staff who can make him aware of what's happening in the moment, so it's not something you're breaking down after the game ends.
Right.
You need to be aware of it at the time. Think of the quarterback series. How many times did you hear Kevin O'Connell say to Kirk Cousins, calm down?
Yeah, right.
Calm down.
Right.
Calm down. Maybe it's as simple as someone saying to Josh Allen, calm down. Josh, it'll be fine. Josh, we'll win. We do what we're supposed to do. We run the plays that are called. We'll win this game.
Yeah.
There is no 14-point play in the playbook.
No, you got to have somebody that gives you a big picture of the game
down.
on the sideline.
Calm down.
I always, like appreciated the coach that was like that, right? I can speak to.
Yeah, John Gruden wasn't.
Well, no, John Gruden was not. It was always like, what the heck did you do? Why didn't we score right there? And you were like, damn, okay, I don't know. They were good defense. And we changed field position, and nobody was open. So I thought that was, And then the next day he'd tell you that he did good. That was the right play. But you always like Nathaniel Hackett's father, Paul Hackett. He was great at that. He was my favorite, one of my favorite coaches I ever had. He would be, hey, this is what kind of game we're in, right? This is what kind of game we're in. He would almost at times, hey, you might have to start pushing the envelope here. We need to make some plays on offense. You might have to, force the issue. Okay. Hey, defensive game here. Be smart. Take care of the football, right? Field goals might win us the game today, right? And that's where I feel like nobody's in. He's extremely smart, right? And maybe they're just giving him a little too much, like I said, leash, whatever you want to say there. But he's got to be disgusted. And I appreciate him taking that one on the chin there. I do. Because he knows that was himself. He literally said, I played against us tonight. I was the problem there. And he knows that. And he knows that if he played differently, they probably would have came out with a victory.
And wherever that Stephon Diggs fuse was before last night's game, it's a little bit closer to the bomb than it was, and we didn't see an eruption last night.
He did a good job at the end, kind of coming to him and going, let's get together here this last drive, right?
But this is all on Ken Dorsey. He's the guy ultimately in charge of the offense, and it's on Sean McDermott, who's ultimately in charge of the team. He's got to recognize the need for someone to calm down Josh Allen, and he's got to implement something. Yeah. They got to do something. Remember last year, after the Broncos were, not that it helped, but once it was falling apart early, they bring in Jerry Rossberg, bring in someone to be like the quarterback sensei, the guy who calms him down. Now, that's a slap at Ken Dorsey, but nobody's calming him down. Yeah. Last night, they failed as an organization to calm this guy down. Hi, it's Mike Florio. Thanks for watching PFT on YouTube. Hit subscribe for the latest news and analysis from Pro Football Talk.